This video is to review solving quadratic equations by graphing. And overall, just talking about solving quadratic equations, there's some vocabulary to talk about here. They can ask the same question a few different ways. And so it's important to know that you can be asked to find the roots of an equation, find the solutions of an equation, find the x-intercepts of an equation, or solve an equation. And you're really being asked to do the same thing. So I just wanted to mention that here. In general, when we're solving by graphing, one thing to talk about are the types of solutions that a quadratic or any type of polynomial can have, but we're definitely focusing on quadratics here. With our quadratic, if your quadratic, whether it's facing up like this or it could be facing down, if it intersects your x-axis in two places, or it has two roots, two solutions, two x-intercepts, etc., that means this has two real solutions. Okay, and that's a type of question that you could be asked. This drawing right here, it comes down, it intersects the x-axis, and just this one point, it turns around, it comes back up. This root has a multiplicity of 2, and that's something you'll definitely be talking about more in the polynomial review videos. But this is just one real solution, and again, that solution has a multiplicity of 2. And again, that could be facing upside down, it could be in any of the four quadrants. The important part here is that it's just touching the x-axis once, okay, as opposed to touching the x-axis in two places. And then our third option here is where our quadratic or our parabola does not touch the x-axis at all. It could be in any of the four quadrants, it could be facing up, it could be facing down, but then it has no real solutions. So what that means is it has two imaginary solutions. I'm just going to abbreviate that here. Okay, this has one real solution, no imaginary. Okay, two real solutions, no imaginary solutions. So if we take a look at a couple examples where we would be using this here, this is the question: determine the nature of the solutions of 11x squared plus 9x plus 2 is equal to 0. So if you were to encounter this question on the SOL, your first instinct would be to graph this on your calculator. So what I did was I graphed it on mine, and this is an image of what it looked like when I graphed it. So what you can see here is that the parabola came down, it came very close to the x-axis, but it never touched it, and then it turned right back around. So this has two imaginary solutions, because it never touched the x-axis. What I do want to point out here is that I did have to zoom in quite a bit to tell whether it touched or it did not touch, because it was very hard to tell. It was so close to the x-axis. So that is something you want to keep in mind. Make sure that you know how to use your calculator, how to zoom in, and see whether something touches or does not touch, so you get a very clear picture. In the next example, we're going to take a look at, again, which graph represents a quadratic equation with no real solutions. So this is almost the same exact type of question. So we're looking for a graph that does not intersect the x-axis. And again, it's this one. Even though it's facing upside down, it doesn't cross the x-axis. Okay, so this would have two real solutions. This would have one real solution. And again, this would have two real solutions. And if we want to talk specifically about what the solutions are, this would have a solution of 0, x equal to 0, and x equal to 2, because those are the points where it's hitting the x-axis. Okay, and this one real solution, it looks like it touches down maybe at about x equal to 1/2, close there. And our two real solutions here, it looks like maybe it's at about negative 1.5 and about positive 0.5 or 1/2. Alright, so this has been a review of solving quadratic equations by graphing, and we should know that there are 3 ways to solve quadratic equations, by factoring and also by their quadratic formula. So make sure you check out all of those review videos so that you're able to solve quadratic equations by any method that would be presented to you. If you have more questions about solving quadratic equations by graphing, please see your math teacher.